Uh, Good evening or good afternoon, viewers, wherever time zone you're in. This is Gilbert Githere. I gave a talk at LAMAC, LA Museum, on July 27th, and this was about the Pacifica and the African people, the Pacific and the African people. And because of time, we couldn't cover things in detail form. The analysis was very brief. So there are some sections like I covered. I would like to elaborate a little more in detail, so that if in case you come across this piece, it will help you to understand what I was talking about. Like, for example, when I talked about people associating their origin with some plants, like the Hawaiians, they believe that they originated from Taro, Kalo. It's a root plant, like a cassava or yam. It's called Taro. You can check it. They eat almost every part of Taro. But the thing is, their beliefs, they have this concept that they originated from the taro plant. And that's what I'm going to go through a little bit so I can expound it further, because it's so important. Now, the interesting thing here is that when you're listening to this piece, you also realize or know or become aware that taro is also grown in central Kenya, in central highlands. It's called nduma, and it is also a very important source of nutrition to the central people of Kenya, the Agikuyu. And me myself, I grow taro in my farm, in Gatanga, in Mugumwene. And for that reason, when I discovered that the Hawaiians consider nduma, taro, to be so important in their culture, I was so fascinated, and I became interested in even digging further what the Hawaiians believe taro gives or nourishes their traditions with. Kalo, the sacred diet of the Hawaiian, has another unique role in the culture of the island people. Because those people who don't know, Hawaii is made up of 5 islands. They're island people. Kalo is a sacred product of Mother Earth, Papa Hana Amoku, Papa, and the sky, the Father, Wakea. So we have Papa Hanamoku, the sky, joining with the earth, Wakea, to bring up the plant taro and also further bring up the Hawaiian people. That's a very interesting concept. But the thing here is, when you listen to this piece, have in mind that actually what the deeper meaning could be, I remain to be corrected, is that when there is rain, there is usually thunder and lightning. And lightning is a product of electricity, positive, negative elements coming together and forming the rain. And when the rain comes, there is always a possibility that it is going to fertilize what is on the ground. And the positive, negative, which here also means, in the digital world, the 0 and 1 are equivalents of positive, negative. The 0 is negative, the positive is the 1. So the binary here, the Leibnizian concept of what forms the artificial intelligence, comes to play. But be thinking about that. perspective of Kalo takes a very interesting twist when scrutinized from a digital perspective of 0 and 1. In order to understand this area, one has to look at this idea from the digital power perspective. Symbols. There's symbolism in lightning. There's power, there's energy in lightning. Symbols. There's rain coming down to fertilize and to make things grow on the earth. And there's the element of the positive, negative electrons charging one another and forming electricity, which is a power source and also a source of life. Our body are made up of nerves, which for us to communicate, have information travel within our body until we bring out the language we speak. It's also, there is a lot of electrical energy helping those actions. Then there is the metaphysics, the science of being, the entities which make up human beings, thinking, cognition, understanding, eating, and the activities that we have, which make us beings, the entities that give us life, meaningful, essential aspects, the essences of life, and epistemology, the nature of knowing. Because for us to be who we are, we have got to know. And to digest that knowing, and when we know, we innovate. So you can see it's a very, very deep concept, but we can't digest it just at one time. So I'm just going through for those people who are in this meeting on the 27th. Githere, the co-founder of Afrocentrism movement, is going to make this information available to you. And it will add on to what I was saying when I was in that meeting. And some of it you got to read yourself to feed the meat of this concept, to understand it deeper. And you'll excuse me for saying that. In these three areas, the belief in power of cosmos, especially the activities of the cosmos, the rising of the sun and setting of the sun, the seasons, summer, and then comes fall, winter, and then spring, and also again the cycles of rain, wind, and turbulences of all kinds, the cosmos. There's a lot of activities happening there which are scientific. So even the indigenous people had a lot of reverence to cosmos. For example, Wakea, the sky, which I just mentioned, and Papa, the earth, and the Western beliefs of digital philosophy seem to converge or find a common ground. Just as I said, the rain is made of positive, negative aspect. And also digital things which drive the algorithms that are becoming the source of artificial intelligence also draw from positive, negative energy. Algorithms cannot travel as information and communication if there is no electrical energy. It's a variable. Digital powers are a variable of electrical energy. So have that in mind. Kalo or Taro was conceived of the interaction of the earth and the sky. This was possible through the action of the lightning. I have said that, but I'm just repeating. A product of electric current formed of protons, positive, and electrons. That's simple science. but it ends up actually puzzling it together. We see that actually everything that happens in the belief systems of the people, if you dig into it, respect it, think about it, use reasoning, rationalism, use what you're calling the genealogy of the post-metaphysical thinking. You accommodate the others, the belief of other people, and you give them importance and you give them room. Take them from the back burner and bring them in front and analyze them to see what are the commonalities of the digital power and the spiritual power found within the traditional oral traditions of indigenous people. The Hawaiian belief in cosmology involves the following. As I said earlier, Kalo is a byproduct of the sky and the earth. This, in the cultural values of the Hawaiians, becomes the plants in the land, and at the same time, the history of the origin of the Hawaiian people. So it nourishes them, Kalo, but at the same time, it gives you the history of their origin, because the Hawaiian people have reverence for the land, Aina. Just to touch the land is a holy act. And as I said earlier in another program, which was just audio, it didn't have visual, me talking, but you might have come across it. I discuss about how important it is of the water that flows between the taro plants, the fields of taro, because that water is the one which connects the people in the mountains and the living creatures of the ocean, the Mauka and Makai. Mauka is the mountains, Makai is the water, the ocean. And it nourishes them. Those two parts nourish the Hawaiian people. They grow taro on land and they harvest fish from the sea and opihi and all kind of nutrition and seaweeds. They are so important in Hawaiian traditions. The union of earth and the sky brought forth Haloanaka, the firstborn of the Hawaiians. Haloanaka. He was a stillborn, but that is just a symbolism, because he was stillborn and then so buried into the earth and produced taro plant. Just like the Darwinian theory says, we originally originated from the creatures of the ocean. And as Jacques Monod has it, chance and necessity. Digest that. I'm not going to go into details of it because the origin of human beings also becomes very controversial. So I'm just going for this purpose of this discussion to just say that simple, that we are creatures who are connected to the sea, because about 90-80% of our body is water. The second offspring of the union of Wakea and Papa is us human beings, the Hawaiian people, the indigenous people of the islands, the Kanaka Maoli. So the first Hawaiians who walked the land, who walked the Minihunis, who walked the fishes of the Polynesian seas, come from the second born of Wakea and Papa. A very, very, and I'm humbled saying that, because the Hawaiians revere these stories. They must be told by people who are blessed in the Hawaii, the Ali, the Kumus, the people, the sacred people of the Hawaiian traditions. So I feel humble, allow me to say some of these things because I'm saying it from the perspective of the African person or Kenyan person who lived for 34 years in Hawaii, and I have a big Ohana family. Like poor Almeida, the blind musician, is my grandfather-in-law. Kanaka Vai Vai, the song Kanaka Vai Vai, he's the one who originated that song and many other songs. He is my grandfather-in-law. So humbly, I request you allow me to talk about my in-laws. And I'm very thankful that I knew an important lady in Hawaiian traditions, Haunani Trask, and I revere her. And some of the knowledge I am using here is from so many knowledgeable people, the Kanaka Maules of the islands. The science of being, metaphysics, is packed in the origin of Kalo. The essence, the entities which make us the beings we are, is packed in the story of Kalo. Positive and negative energy, the elements included in the origin of human being from the Darwinian angle, is all packed in the story of Wakea and Papa. You just go to decipher it. It can be deduced that Taro is formed of huge spiritual energy. And this is gotten from the interplay between the sky and the earth, the positive and the negative, the dialectics involved, the dialectics of positive and negative, the polarity. This activity allows the following action to take place. Polarity, North Pole, South Pole. Unlike poles, attract one another. Growth through union, conception. Continuity of life. Because there is a lot of continuity in life. That's why there is genealogy. You start way out from simple organs. But also connects so much with the religious beliefs of all religions. Hinduism, Confucianism, Christianity, Judaism, African religions. They are interwoven. They come from the same core value, the origin of us human beings. They all ponder about that. And there is so much commonality in them. It's only that we do not take time to listen. Listen to the sounds of the land, like the wind. Listen to the sounds of the ocean. Listen to this beauty of silence itself. Green energy. Listen to it. Meditate over them. Like the Buddhists do. Meditate until you can hear. You can hear the gods. They are makua because the fish talk. The creatures of the ocean talk a language that when we will decipher it, we will be wowed like the fish. Like the film we saw in the meeting of Moana. The Hawaiian indigenous people talking about the ocean and the beauty of listening. The word algorithms, in the Kikuyu language, literally translation, it means those who decipher riddles. Listen to that. Algorithms. those who decipher riddles. That's the literal meaning of, or pure meaning of what algorithms are. In the work of science, especially digital science, 0 and 1 binary theory, a Leibnizian concept or theory, has a lot of potential energy. 1 and 0 is the source of us human beings, because we have seen Taro itself, Kalo, Haloa Naka, or Haloa, first Hawaiian man to walk the land, are all an act of 0 and 1. The energy in the digit is made up of all knowledge, made up of variables of meaning, sound, and image. The digital perspective is made up of those. Meaning, because when you assemble algorithms and combine them formulas, and you put them in a string, you start to have meaning. Because you're using language to form the string. And language becomes only language and is the soul of our being, the house of being. When you have meaning in the words you're putting in the string. So algorithms, although they are formulas, they have a lot of meaning, a lot of energy in them. In most cases, algorithm is codes, and they are constructed from 1 and 0, binary logic. Number one is made up of presence, activity, signal, and creation. Just imagine, 1 is a source of creation. So Taro is a variable of creation. And it's a variable of 1, Taro, the plant we were talking about, which is the origin of the Hawaiians. You can never have innovation if there is no presence. You have to be there looking at the experiment you're doing, or the innovation has to come to you at a certain time. You will be present at that time, and you will see, oh, this is an answer to the question or problem I've been having, and I have discovered it now, presently at this time. So presence is a very important thing, because it means living and being. Activity. There has to be an activity. For you to have water, hydrogen has to be pulled together to oxygen. Activity has to take place. There has to be an activity. And then you have a byproduct of water. There's lightning in the sky. Rain comes down, fertilizes the land, and Taro comes up. Taro becomes a source of nutrition to the Hawaiians when they develop from the same source of Wakea and Papa. which is the positive, negative, and water, and thus the starting of life as known by human beings. Now the number 0 also has values. It is absence. There has to be an absence of something for you to require to create it so that your life becomes better. Human beings are always trying to improve their lives, and they use formulas and language to get there. So the letter 0, the qualities of it is absence. You miss something and you need it, you create it, you innovate it. Silence, listening, for you to understand and solve what you're missing. Meditation, that's why they say you get to higher level of thinking the more you meditate. So silence is an important thing, and it is associated with 0. Void, having nothing, creates necessity. Chance and necessity. Potential. Then there is potential. There's that energy created by positive, negative lightning, forms water. Water comes down with that energy because it's been created by the potential in negative and positive aspect of life. Pours down, nourishes the taro plant, nourishes, creates the oceans, creatures of the ocean, the human beings develop. The Hawaiian man walks the land. In the world of symbols, the science of being used the variables of 0 and 1 to explain the source of life on Earth. The origin of the Hawaiian people is a variable of this theory of digital energy. The union discussed here of ontological opposites, the ontological opposites of 0 and 1, positive, negative energy of the lightning, the digital energy, ontological opposites, because ontology is the science of being. The science of being, how opposites. So the science of being originates or emanates from positive negativity, the dialectics of 0 and 1. Being original sources of life akin to the yin-yang, the opposite of the Confucius religions and Buddhism, the yin-yang, the Eastern concept. Male-female union for conception of human beings. Earth and sky, the same thing, ontological opposites. They allow for the formation of life. They allow for the formation of the binary things that artificial intelligence is using. A 3D image of the hand. An amputee can have a hand created through formulas in a computer. They form the material, form an artificial limb. All from information, 3D printing. It is very clear that the union of Wakea and Papa, the earth and the sky, produced Kalo, the firstborn of the Hawaiian people. And the union went on to beget the first human being according to the Hawaiian genealogy. At the same time, unions of 1 and 0 have been attributed to be the origin of many beings or entities, or in other words, a digital creation. The digital creations I'm discussing in this part are made up of data, algorithms, memory, and intelligence. These concepts, you got to kind of take them. I can't make this all so elaborate at one sitting. I'm just explaining how the Hawaiian concept of wakea and papa, the formation of creation of Taro and the Hawaiian people, relate so much to the digital sciences of today, or artificial intelligence. So you got to kind of take it and decipher it, deconstruct it, the Derridian theory of this construction. Go deeper into the text and lift out the meaning and the message. Digital energy, according to different experts and authorities, or artificial intelligence expert, is made up of abstract opposites, ontological opposites, and this one, abstract opposites. Ontological opposites, you remember earlier I had dealt with ontological opposite forming the Taro thing, the positive negative energy of electricity. Equivalence of ontological opposites, Taro can be said to be a byproduct of digital energy. Positive and negatives have been associated to creation from the time primordial or time immemorial, especially when relationship is put in action. The relation of hydrogen and oxygen. There has to be a relationship for these opposites to become clear and well elaborated. So the relationship, you got to have two people, a man and a woman, for a child to materialize. There has to be a relationship. There has to be love. Love is the source of life. Positive and negative have been associated here. I say that one. Now, in this discussion, I have kind of just elaborated a little bit what I could have said in that meeting that I attended. And I'm just helping them, Matazi and Neema Githere, to be able, if somebody should ask them, what was Gilbert Githere really talking about Pacifica and the ocean people? What was he talking about? Might be this can help, and I hope it does, because I didn't have time to elaborate these things in the short time we had. So I've sat down, tried to kind of bring out what I meant, and I hope this is helpful. Now, to conclude, there is a kind of a chart about oral traditions and the digital power column, because people understand things when they are put in a form like a statistical formula down, they understand them better, they conceive them better. Hawaiian cosmogony, Wakea, the sky, Papa, the earth, and on the opposite side you have digital cosmogony. Cosmogony is Cosmogony. It comes from the word cosmos. Cosmos is 1 plus 0. So you can see 1 plus 0 is the equivalent of positive, negative of electricity. And the Hawaiian side, sky, Wakea, and Papa, the earth, they produce Haloa Naka Kalo. On the other side, parallel to it, there is chord. 1 and 0 produce a chord, a logarithms. And the logarithms, as I told you, produce the 3D images of a limb, which somebody can use, an amputee can use. 3D coding brings an item which we can utilize in life, which means is like the production of Kalo. The way positive, negative electricity produced Kalo when it touched the earth, water, and everything, code can produce artificial intelligence. Taro, the Taro plant is a life force, is equal to life force. That's the other side of the Hawaiian cosmology. And that energy that Taro is associated with, the Hawaiian call that mana. There is Taro formation, and even itself, because you consume it, it gives you energy. It's a food source. So it has a life force, and that is called mana. On the other side of the digital cosmogony is binary. Things have got to combine, 0 and 1 have got. You form a chain of information in their logarithms. Formulas form a logical information communicated through the computer in the artificial intelligence network. All is information energy traveling to produce the artificial 3D image of the limb I talked about. So that's the production of the limb through digital cosmogony. And then we saw Taro is a life force of positive, negative energy. Kalo is food. And it produces us, we become human beings, we stop to exist, we go into ancestry, the ancestors, the ones who went before us. So you have that genealogy of people who are living, having ancestors. So the Hawaiians believe all their ancestors are the originated from Taro or Kalo plant. With the digital cosmogony, the code leaves behind knowledge, huge archive of knowledge. Its digital source is associated with archive of huge knowledge. And we are seeing this in artificial intelligence. There's energy which has come before us, our ancestors are actually giving us back more. Knowledge is all coming from our ancestors. The knowledge that was left before is what we are calling from the atmosphere, as in it's nourishing what we know in a huge way. Loi, Taro patches, as I say, Loi, the patches of Taro, are a source of, it's an organic network of a life force full of energy, which helps to make us able to live on this earth and to prosper, to be happy. And the digital cosmogony, we have processors and we have networks which are giving us huge information and helping us to solve problems which have been so difficult and hanging on our necks that we could not improve our lives. But artificial intelligence is going to give us some answers to these problems. So I hope that this piece I have done of about 40 minutes is going to be helpful to understand what I should have said in a broader, more analysis in that meeting, but we didn't have time. So if you come across this piece, remember, it goes together with what I said briefly and precise and précis at the LACMA meeting in Los Angeles, the meeting which was organized by Los Angeles Museum under the curator Matanzi and my niece, the co-founder of Afro-Presentism movement, Neema Githere. Until then, this is your host, Gilbert Gisharo Githere, saying ciao ciao for now and bye.